Also tonight, a bombshell report revealing the Obama administration knew about the violent extremist group Antifa, but did nothing to stop it. Politico reporting that back in early 2016, quote, authorities believed that anarchist extremists were the primary instigators of violence at public rallies against a range of targets. They were blamed by authorities for attacks on the police, government, and political institutions. Here now, Lawrence Jones is host on the Blaze TV and a conservative commentator. Richard Fowler is a nationally syndicated radio show host and Fox News contributor. Lawrence, if this was known while Obama was president, why was nothing more done about it?
One word: politics. A lot of these groups, these extremist groups, have the same ideology as the left. The only difference is they use violence to invoke that ideology. Many on the left want to silence people, and that means speech. And hate speech is protected by the Constitution. What we see with this group Antifa is promoting violence, and part of the reason why the left and the Obama administration did not prosecute them is because those are some of the same people that are involved with their groups as well.
Why are you hearing such silence on this, on the part of the left, Richard?
I'm not sure you're hearing silence on this. I think a lot of people have condemned them. Nancy Pelosi condemned them last week. And this article talks about the fact that the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security notified local and state officials about Antifa. And let me be very clear here for folks at home. Antifa doesn't represent the left. They've been very clear in there's a Vox article where a person who analyzed Antifa talks about they're outside the system. They don't believe they're in the system at all. They're against the entire
why do
American.
You guys march with them?
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Why do you march with them?
Excuse me.
Richard, finish your thought.
They're
We'll go
against
to
the
you, Lawrence.
entire American system and what it stands for. That includes the Democratic Party. That includes the progressive movement.
Right.
That includes democracy.
We don't have much time, so I want to get Lawrence
voting.
back in here. Lawrence?
And that is against what I believe in.
We got it, Richard. We got it, Richard. I was in Ferguson. I've been at most of these protests, even if it's Black Lives Matter. And I see these same Antifa anarchists marching with these people. So my question is very simple, Richard. If Democrats don't support them, why are members of Congress and Democratic leaders marching with them at the protest?
Well,
why not tell them to go home when they're burning up cities?
Okay, excuse me. First of all, Nancy Pelosi has come out and condemned Antifa.
Okay, you're naming one Democratic leader, Richard. We've already heard that before. But even this piece, hold on, Richard, even this piece in the Chicago Tribune today, the Democrats' silence on Antifa is dangerous. It talks about what it calls the disturbing silence from leaders of the Democratic Party. You're naming one leader. Who else has spoken out?
There's other Democrats who have spoken out against Antifa because Antifa doesn't, excuse me, I'm talking. Antifa doesn't represent the Democratic Party. They've condemned the Democratic Party. Not to mention the fact that I've been to Black Lives Matter protests in Washington, D.C., in Baltimore, in Ferguson, in Chicago, you name it, and I have not seen Antifa there. So maybe we're not at the same protest.
Lawrence, if something had been done in early 2016, based on this report that it was known, would we be seeing a different situation today?
Most definitely, and the question still remains, Sandra, why aren't law enforcement involved when these decisions are made? These people should be prosecuted. We saw in this protest just the other day where they're throwing pee at law enforcement officers.
All right, guys, I've got to leave it there.
Hey,
Richard, Lawrence, thanks to both of you for being here. We've got breaking news tonight. I want to let you know that we've got a presser coming up on that fire that has been raging down in Crosby.